What's up, folks? I'm out at Morley Field today here in San Diego, and I want to address a topic that is very highly security related, and it's based on a comment from Owen at Biased Riot that you left on my last video, which is changing out the firmware from T-Mobile to Global on your OnePlus 7T. I said that I don't like escalating myself to root privileges. Sadly, Owen, your comment was disappeared by YouTube in their little Skinner's box scheme, along with all of my favorite creators with convex, hollow earth lizard people. So you've been disappeared, at least temporarily. Again, another one of YouTube's stupid algorithm decisions. But we can still address why I don't like to run as root privileges, or in general why it's a bad idea on any kind of modern operating system, not even just mobile. Most modern operating systems run on the principle of least privilege. What does least privilege mean, or the principle of least privilege mean? It means that any application, any given application, has the minimum ability to create, read, update, or delete, which is CRUD as an acronym, the files that it needs access to and no more. This has multiple implications. One of them is a security-related implication, and another one is stability for the operating system. We'll address the security one first. With any kind of application, if it is only supposed to have access to certain information, and it has access to root, even though it doesn't need access to root privileges, you put yourself into a situation where if a hacker finds a vulnerability in that app, they can now use those permissions to give themselves root permissions. This is a major problem if you do something like, say, online banking. Say if you've got the Bank of America app on your phone, and you gave Bumble Online Dating root permissions. If a hacker finds a vulnerability in Bumble, they can give themselves root permissions, and now they can read anything that is going on in the Bank of America app. It's possible that Bank of America properly developed their app and they sandbox the password, so when you type it in, no one can keylog what you're typing in. But given the US's recent debacle, our military's debacle, do you really trust large Leviathan institutions? Do you really trust that the Titanic is an unsinkable ship? I know my answer to that question. It's a very simple matter if someone can get into your bank account. Well, it used to be a really simple matter. It might be a little bit more difficult now to send a payment off somewhere else and then fire it away and make a Monero purchase, and your money is gone. Especially if your money goes across international borders, there's essentially no enforcement from country to country unless there's a treaty like the US probably has with Britain or Mexico. But if it goes to a place like Nigeria, your money is gone. That is a major security flaw in running your phone with root permissions. And when you run your phone with root permissions, all kinds of weird apps will ask, can I have access to root? And it only takes a couple slip-ups of accidentally clicking allow when you should have said, no, you can't have access to root. The second reason why you want apps to run on the principle of least privilege is giving access to root to a user that doesn't actually need it is a bit like giving your steering system in your vehicle access to your accelerator. Maybe nothing will happen, but maybe you'll be turning right and your steering column will activate your accelerator and you'll go flying off a bridge. Who knows? And this has largely been my experience running root on mobile devices, is that the phones themselves run incredibly unstable. Basically, running with root permissions all the time is really a bad idea, especially because modern operating systems are designed to run with least privilege. They run stable, they run well. My Android phone, I usually have access to do anything that I need, with a couple of exceptions, and I'll talk about these exceptions now. Number one, if you're running with a Google device or a device with Google Apps, you may want root permissions to disable Google Apps. This is kind of a bad reason, but it is a legitimate reason why you would want to run with root permissions. The reason it's a bad reason is if you can root your device, then you already have access to the bootloader and fastboot and all of the tools that you actually need to install a privacy-respecting ROM on your device. So just install a privacy-respecting ROM on your device. The second reason, and this is a reason why I rooted my OnePlus 7T at one point, and that is to back up critical system files. Certain phones, like some OnePlus devices, and definitely Samsung devices, when you run custom ROMs, during an update, they run the risk of overwriting a particular file called persist.img. And this file contains information like your IMEI that allows you to connect to a mobile tower and use mobile service. If you're in that boat, go ahead, root your device, back up your phone, and then either de-escalate your permissions or wipe your phone completely and reinstall the operating system. Take that file, store it in on a couple of drives, make sure to back it up to the cloud. That way, if anything ever happens, you've got multiple instances on multiple sites of access to that file, so that if your phone in an update ever loses access to your persist.img file, you can recover your phone and recover your phone's functionality. So again, there are some reasons why you may want to run root on your phone, but in general, it's a bad idea. Just don't do it. Don't do it in Linux. Don't run as admin in Windows. Yes, I get it. You feel like it's your device and you should have full access to everything. Most modern operating systems, though, are designed in such a way that you do not constantly need access to the admin level of permissions. I hope this was helpful for anyone. If any of you have questions, leave them in the comments down below. Thanks for stopping by. This is Nick, signing out.